You're taking a live look at the Ohio River as it nears its crest. We'll get some new data here in just a moment, but the crest here, the Ohio River in Cincinnati, 60 feet. This is our levee camera. You see just how close the Ohio River has gotten there to the bridge. And we'll go ahead and zoom in to give you a better idea of how the banks have really been affected by the heavy rain, very consistent heavy rain. I mean, look, as we zoom in, you see parts of the banks just absolutely being covered. It is now part of the Ohio River. You can see debris getting pushed along the river, and I don't know if you guys park next to the Ohio River for a Reds game, but that parking lot is well underwater. Good afternoon, Meteorologist Erin Ashley. Right now you're taking a look at video from the Butler County Sheriff. Their public information officer gave us permission to use this aerial footage that they took of Butler County surveying the damage flooding up near that direction. So zooming on in there, you can see just houses submerged in water, entire yards submerged as well. And to think Butler County, they got a heavy amount of rain, of course. Much of the tri-state area did get a lot of rain, of course, but those in northern Kentucky got the worst of it. So Butler County, while we're seeing heavy flooding rains from the Great Miami, we're seeing worse conditions down south towards northern Kentucky. Not that it's a competition, but we are going to show you, this is new video coming in from our Alexis Martin. She's down in Falmouth right now, Pendleton County, northern Kentucky. Entire parking lots, entire roads. You can see that road that she's standing on right now is in fact closed. I mean, obviously it is closed. Entire roads underwater as well. Falmouth was under one of those mandatory evacuations because of this flooding. Taking a look now. This is earlier video from one of our reporters. You can see this is the Ohio River looking towards the Kentucky side of the Ohio River. Really just high river levels. The Ohio River really expanding. It's also rushing, bringing a lot of debris with it as well. We'll go ahead and look at some still images here in just a second. I want to show you what the power outage situation here is across the viewing area, that is Ohio as well as Kentucky, which compared to a couple days ago where we had those severe storms moving on in, we're certainly not seeing anything as dramatic as that, but at the same time, utilities have been shut off across the northern Kentucky area as far as Cincinnati goes for right now, the Cincinnati metro area. Well, it's still a good amount of people that are under or without power, but nothing to compare to what we had moving through a couple of days ago. You're taking a look now at another photo of the Cincinnati parks along the Ohio River. This was taken by another one of our team members here at Fox 19. I was just walking down that road the other day to a Reds game. I'm sure a lot of folks were as well. The grass, the trees, the posts, everything, nearly the flower beds you see there, almost part of the Ohio River at this point in time. Another photo, this time in northern Kentucky, down in Ludlow. Our Jordan Valines took this photo of the playground, one of the parks down that direction. If you want to play basketball, strap on the swim gear, I guess, because the court is underwater. Yeah. And other hard news coming from this is a photo from Cincinnati police of what was a water rescue because a car you see right there in front of the Coney Island entrance fully submerged in the flooding rains. And we're just getting started, folks. So if you have any photos of the flooding and you can do so safely, we encourage you to submit them on our website, fox19.com/pics. As far as those river levels go right now, we're going to start with the tributaries, the other waterways besides the Ohio River. So this is new information coming in right now at 6 o'clock, so I guess 5 minutes ago. Kentucky River at Lockport. If you've been tuning in with us over the last few days, we've been eyeing this as what could be record flooding at this gauge. And while Lockport isn't technically in the viewing area, the Kentucky River is. Right now, 50.8 feet and rising. It's going to crest there on Tuesday morning at a new record of 57 feet. Now the Licking River at Falmouth. Falmouth, if you remember, alongside Butler, had those mandatory evacuation notices put in by the local government. You can see that they have reached 38.4 feet near the river gauge in Falmouth, the Licking River gauge. Still rising though, and now we're starting to see some other areas and rivers like the Little Miami and the Great Miami finally becoming a little bit more steady and then starting to fall off as well. It's the good news, but here at the Ohio River, of course, it's one of the merge points of all of these different tributaries, right? All this water is going to be rushing into the Ohio. So let's get to some new data here. We're getting really close, right, to that crest. And I'm going to refresh my page right here because the graphics, I have to do it manually, and I want to give you guys the newest information. Okay, so I'm going to pull up the graphic that needs updated, and I will tell you what things are looking at right now. So the graphic that you're going to see right next to me, that is data that needs to be updated. But you can see that Maysville, the Ohio River gauge at Maysville, it's still rising as yet to crest. Moderate flooding is possible. It's more like it's going to be a minor flooding event. But regardless, right now coming in at 6 o'clock, we're at 53.4. So 53.4 is what that is supposed to be reading at that point. So just another 1/10 of a foot. All right, so we're going to go down the list here to the dam. The newest information, 54.7. So this also just went up by a 1/10 within the last hour, a 1/10 of a foot, that is. Let's check on Cincinnati because that's, of course, where we're seeing moderate flooding. We've been in moderate flooding here in the Ohio River at Cincinnati for a few hours now. To put it in perspective, we have now reached 59.1 feet for that river height level. Again, that's going to be the new data that I'm going to put right here for you guys. So in the last hour, a couple 1/10 of a foot. We still have another foot to go. At least that's what's forecast. And then last but not least, on our journey around the Ohio River levels, Markland Lower, 54.1. So that one also just went up by a 1/10 of a foot within the last hour. So river levels at the Ohio River still rising. They're all still going to be rising at least till Monday morning, maybe even Monday afternoon. Of course, Markland Lower, just because it's more downstream, it's going to crest a little bit later. So we'll keep you guys up to date as far as what these river levels look like. The one that's really piquing our interest is going to be the one that is likely record-breaking, which is there in Lockport, Kentucky, again, out of the viewing area, but the Kentucky River is within the viewing area. Forecast crest, 57 feet, would be a new record set 2025. The previous record set in the infamous year of 1937 at 56.9 feet. So we talk so much about the flooding. The flooding's got to come from somewhere, right? So it's been a very rainy April, 4.73 inches of rain. That would make the 39th rainiest April on record. And we're only just 6 days in. So if we stopped counting right now, that would make us 39. But we're not obviously going to stop counting now. So we'll likely get a little bit closer to what could be a historic April. Right now, though, taking a look once again at the Ohio River, a very swollen look to the Ohio River. It's 40 degrees, folks. That temperature has not changed a whole lot in the last hour, but I can tell you it has dropped since the day began. Factor in a bit of a breeze there from the north. It feels like the lower 30s. While we don't encourage you to go and check out the flooding necessarily, if you are outside for any reason, it's cold. It feels really cold, and we're just getting colder, right? I want to remind everyone that our area, there's just been a freeze watch issued for the entire viewing area, but this is more so late Monday into Tuesday. It'll be really cold tonight, just not as cold as Tuesday morning. So we'll unpack that in the 7-day forecast coming up in just a few. I want to talk a little bit more about what active radar looks like right now. So if you're tuning in towards Maysville, even down south of the Cincinnati metro area, you're getting some light rain showers. But if you travel north, guys, I'm going to zoom out. I'm seeing reports of a little bit of a mixed precipitation. That's how cold parts of Ohio are getting, and that's how dramatic this temperature drop has been. It's not local, and even if we do get a little bit of the wintry mix, so to speak, it's not going to impact us too much. Most of the rain has already fallen, but we're obviously still getting some. It is likely that this rain will come to a stop later on this evening, but most certainly by tomorrow morning. So we're going to go ahead and time it out for you guys real quick here. So within the hour, more showers are just going to start to come right back into the viewing area. Here's 8 o'clock, maybe a few of those showers being heavier than others, but with temperatures in the upper 30s by 9 o'clock, we might see a little bit of this mix coming in. Very light mix is possible. Nothing that will lead to a very slippery or dangerous Monday morning commute, though we of course can't rule out the possibility that some of us do drop into the lower 30s. I'm eyeing those towards Wilmington, Hillsborough, even Connersville, Brookville in southeastern Indiana. I brought you to 3 o'clock Monday morning. Look at those temperatures. Some of us getting real close to that freezing point in which we would see a couple of freezing patches of ice out on the roads. It really just depends on those temps, right? So let's get you into your Monday morning commute. It is still very cold, but at least most of the rain is out of the way. Even if you do see the rain, it will be very light. That's the good news. Maybe the not so great news is how cold it will feel. Let's get you into your afternoon. So I've brought you to, I'm spoiling the afternoon for you. I brought you to 4 o'clock, mid-50s is where we're going to see some of us peak with those temperatures. And then I kind of spoiled it, but a little bit of rain is on tap for the afternoon. And we've been watching this pretty carefully. It's going to be pretty light, right? Going to be very light. It's a weak cold front coming on through. I'd say the biggest impact from this necessarily is not going to be in the rainfall, but rather the breezy conditions and then the big temperature drop to follow as well. So that line of drizzle will carry south and east through the Cincinnati area and then clear before we even see the sunrise on Tuesday. But I mean, look at those temperatures. That's just a taste of what's to come, and that's why the National Weather Service has opted to issue that freeze watch. All right, so now that we've kind of broken down what the near-term forecast is, I'm going to show you the 7-day in just a second. I'm going to go ahead and read through some comments to see how people are faring. Seth's tuning in. How are you doing on a Sunday? I'm doing well, thank you. Susan saying, good evening. It's so nice to hear from you tonight. We went to Kentucky today. It's so sad and still pouring. Thank you for keeping us safe. Of course, Susan. I appreciate you tuning in as always, and I take a lot of pride in what I do. So thank you for tuning in. Melvin tuning in. Hi, Erin. Is it going to be nice this week? So as far as the temperatures, maybe not so much. It will be just a little cooler than perhaps we would want if we wanted to spend time outside, but at the same time, it's not going to be awfully cold, and it's not going to be awfully active either, is the good news. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, we'll go ahead and get right into that 7-day forecast for you guys. It's going to be a little bit of a roller coaster, but we'll get through it. Daniel tuning in, crest 60 at Cincinnati. That is correct, Daniel. Okay, here's that first alert extended forecast. We're going to see just a couple of those evening showers tomorrow, but I'd say we're mostly in the clear as far as the heavy rain goes. Tuesday, we're cooler, a lot cooler in the morning. That's where we have that freeze watch. Temperatures dropping to the 20s. Yeah, it's going to be feeling freezing. Can't rule out those slick spots in the mornings as well. But mostly sunny sky is going to help us out on Tuesday. Now, Wednesday and Thursday, that's our next weather maker. I'm not seeing a great amount of moisture with this one. I'm not seeing a lot of winds with it either, except for Thursday. You might hear some thunder, and with those thunderstorms, it'll get breezy as well. Now we're going to be watching for a few of those showers there for our next next Reds game there, mid-50s, morning showers. Now Saturday, mostly sunny, back into the 60s. If you really are looking forward to a solid weekend, they're on the come up. Next weekend, especially if you compare it to this weekend, is going to be a lot more comfortable, mid to low 60s, but also a lot sunnier as well. Tale of two different stories, right? All right, I'm not seeing any new questions about the forecast or the river levels coming on in, so I'm going to go ahead and hop off of here. The time now is 6:15. We got a lot of work to do, and we'll make sure we do so safely here at Fox 19, and we'll get you through the next 24-ish hours or so as we see the river levels crest and then eventually recede. We'll have the latest information on flooding concerns around the tri-state area from several of our reporters here. We got team coverage to get you through this. We'll have all that coming up Fox 19 now at 10 o'clock tonight. Should anything change and should anything dramatic happen, of course, we will update you online on our app, everywhere you stream Fox 19. But for now, signing off here in Queens Gate, I'm meteorologist Erin Ashley. Have a great rest of your Sunday.